During the process of our evolutionary growth, it is inevitable that we'll make mistakes and will continue to slip up occasionally. You and I are at different stages on our paths of understanding, and it's true that we all had to start somewhere. Just like children learning to walk, some will make more mistakes than others. Having an expensive education or being older in age doesn't necessarily mean increased common sense or wisdom. We know those that simply hate being corrected or proven wrong, and in contrast, there are others that invite alternative theories with open minds. Some folk just seem to walk through life with relative ease. They never seem to have many day-to-day difficulties. This, of course, is untrue. They have as many issues as anyone. But perhaps they just deal with circumstances with acceptance and without resistance. Problems are not the focal point for these people, and it gives the impression that they avoid awkward situations. The why me victim mentality is simply replaced with an open-minded efficiency. Your past mistakes are meant to guide you, not define you. Forgiving yourself is one thing, but forgiving others can be a much bigger challenge. So what happens when you extend your forgiveness with authenticity to another who has wronged you in some way? When you give someone the benefit of the doubt and offer forgiveness, you are effectively in charge of how and when forgiveness happens. You are taking control of your emotions surrounding the event despite their behaviour. This doesn't mean you're letting them off the hook, and it doesn't change what happened. But it's a powerful stance and provides a much more stable platform from which you are more likely to find the best possible solution. You've effectively cleared a little more emotional space for you to help make sense of it all. But you may think that they must surely know that they've made the wrong decision. Well, that may be. But from their perspective, having an understanding of the rules of general acceptability is not always a good enough substitute for actually experiencing that they are. Only through experience are we able to fully appreciate that the impulsive cravings of the now can be a false economy. They have not fully understood, for one reason or another, the implications of their behaviours. The danger for those within this negative loop is that they always feel like the world owes them something. The world takes from me, so I shall take from them, and so on. This dog-eat-dog timeline isn't much fun. It is very much a learning process, but very much their lesson, not yours. No amount of emotional suffering has ever improved a situation, and it's almost impossible to truly understand people's motives other than the fact they are displaying the unconscious behaviour of a less experienced mind. If you attach hate to a person or a particular situation, and you feel unable to forgive, then it's only you that'll carry this emotional baggage. You will carry this heavy emotion with you. They are unburdened with your emotions as they are more likely to be busy dealing with their own. It won't really matter to them as the perpetrators of such activities will normally have much bigger emotional concerns driving their behaviours. One day, they too will realise that to take from others in whatever form is a form of self-harm. Once again, circumstances are never the issue, it's your state of being that's the most important thing. If your internal world is emotionally balanced, the desire to take from others dissipates. But perhaps it's you that's been suffering with these feelings of guilt. Perhaps you feel that it's your punishment to feel this way. But to live the rest of your time here on earth with such negative, dark feelings do not create positive outcomes or make anyone, including yourself, happy. Okay, so you wish you hadn't done something. It just feels crap. This negative feeling is your conscience communicating with you. You've swayed from your natural path, and this feeling is here to remind you to realign somehow. Forgiving yourself is a process that requires a much deeper understanding of how you really feel about a certain situation. Time to tell yourself you're okay. You've changed, you get it. We all mess up. The benefits of fully and unconditionally forgiving yourself of all perceived mistakes of the past is the only rational way forward. Note the use of the word perceived, as right and wrong is subjective and differs with whatever perspective you happen to hold. If your intention is to evolve into a nicer, wiser person, then that's what will happen. Allow, accept, walk on with the intention of achieving or maintaining a good emotional balance. Have you left any apologies out there still unsaid? It might not do any harm to track those people down and explain how you're feeling and apologize. You're also helping yourself by doing this. Perhaps it was an occasion at school where you wished you hadn't behaved the way you did. And to this day, the memories are still as fresh as ever. You're more than likely going to be met with a, "Huh? Oh, that's fine, don't worry," and then swiftly move on to other subjects, but that's okay. It's still the kind thing to do. Don't hold back. Understand that perhaps it will not be accepted as you wish, but there really isn't a situation in life that a sincere apology could make worse. How you behave is entirely your decision. How they respond, well, that's entirely theirs. Do what feels right. Offer your apologies with authenticity and have no particular reliance on the outcome. Even if you cannot reach the people you want, it's fine. It's your intentions that are the most important thing, and you never know when an opportunity will present itself. If it's deeper, if it's darker, and these feelings stem from one of the three elements of trauma, abandonment, rejection, or abuse, then it may be necessary to seek advice of someone professional, and it can feel like it takes superhuman power to move on to brighter things. Sometimes the forgiveness you offer is simply to shed yourself of at least some of the burden of carrying someone else's despicable behavior with you. You don't even have to like that person or choose to be with that person, but to forgive them enables you to come to peace with the situations you probably had little control over in the first place. Rarely are we faced with personal events that we're not emotionally equipped to handle, however daunting it may seem at the time. The pain experienced in any given situation in the past has the ability to push your compassionate responses to much higher levels than that of the average person. It's a bit like a catapult. The further back it was pulled into the dark, the more power it'll have to propel itself forward into the light. Once you actually begin to heal and the shadows can start to be acknowledged and addressed, you'll be able to look upon the hurt with a little more subjectivity.